Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a video review for Breaking Bad Season 5, Episode 1, called Live Free or Die. So Breaking Bad continues. We got our 8 episodes this summer and then 8 next summer to finish it off. And awesome. Absolutely awesome. Now, this review will contain spoilers. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like, okay. Well, the plot developments in this episode are great, but there's nothing too shocking or no, major, huge moments or anything like that that take place that I really spoil for you. But we're going to go over a synopsis, so I can go into a lot of detail about it. And if you're worried about that, don't watch this, that type of thing. You can probably also find this by the time you're watching this on, torrent sites like ISO Hunt or the piratebay.se. Use torrents to look it up. And you should be able to download it and watch it if you're looking to do that. So, Breaking Bad is pretty much my second favorite television show on TV right now. I think it's absolutely awesome. I want to thank everybody who recommended it to me through my channel, saying you got to pick it up. You guys are absolutely right. It is stellar. I loved it. Now, I think probably the most interesting part about this episode was the beginning snippet we got before the credit scenes roll. If you guys have seen the past with a lot of the other Breaking Bad season premieres, they'll do little artistic things like put things in out of chronological order to sort of get us thinking about what's going to happen. For example, and then tie it back in later. And it's really an interesting way of storytelling. They did it in season 2, I think it was. Pretty sure it was season 2, where they had this what was it, like little bear doll or like a little bear, teddy bear or something like that, that had like, it was floating in a pool, and it had like one of its, like half its face was burnt off and this kind of stuff. And they showed it to us at the beginning of the season. I think it was season 2. And then at the end, they sort of tied it in, like how the hell it happened, because at the beginning you're watching this, you're like, what the hell is going on here? And then later on they tie it in and you're like, oh, it makes sense. This plane hit this plane and they blew up, and then this teddy bear flew and landed in their backyard. So they've done that again. This time with we get to see Walt, and he looks totally different, completely different. Like his hair is grown back. He's got a beard. He's got glasses, and the lady calls him Mr. Lambert at this diner that they're at, and and just him. He's there, her, and then some other guy shows up that we don't know. So it's kind of like makes you think, like, is he in witness protection at that point? Is that what's going on? Like, has he failed at the end of season 5, and is he forced to, take the buyout or whatever, and either just, run and hide, use Saul's friend there who can make him disappear or whatever? Who else is he with? Is maybe Jesse, has he disappeared with him? Is Walt's family with him? And just everything about that I think is super interesting. Gets you really thinking about, how this is all going to end. And, of course, to make things even better, he buys something off the guy, goes out, looks in the trunk, and there's this, like, huge ass, well, it's like a big assault rifle or some kind of, like, like military grade weaponry in there. Obviously, he's not going to be taking it over the border, and what is he doing with it? We don't know. It was just a couple, like maybe a couple minute scene there. So, we really have no idea what's going to happen there. I think she said that they were in New Hampshire, or they were talking about it anyway. So is it witness protection? Did he have to disappear through that Saul's buddy? What happened? Did he run? What's going on there? I just think is very interesting. Did somehow the cops find out about him and he have to skip town, just create a new identity for himself? So, regardless, I think that is really, really interesting. Really cool. Then, of course, we skip back to Walt in our current time after we saw at the end of season 4, sort of him telling Skylar what happened, him being in and around the house, looking around, this kind of stuff, having a drink, doing, a few things, saying hi to his son, who's talking about the television and all that. And kind of touching scene later on in this episode where you get to see, Walt hug Skylar and tell her that he forgives her. He forgives her for what she did and all that kind of stuff. And I mean that, in and of itself, I don't know, man. That's one of those things where it's like, wow, that was pretty powerful too. So I don't know about all that. But going on from there, we get to see, Mike kind of finding out what happens, coming back, and this was shown in the on-air trailer for this season, where Mike is sort of in the car and he's flying, and then they turn into like this chicken, and they spin out or whatever. I forget who pulls out, or it's kind of zoomed out, so it's kind of hard to see who pulled out first. I'm assuming it was probably Mike, probably not Walter. And then Mike pulls the gun on him, wants to kill him, whatever. Jesse talks him out of it, and very interesting. We didn't know this from the on-air trailer, but we got a problem. The problem is the tapes. I was like, oh, man, that's brilliant. I forgot about the goddamn cameras, man. I totally forgot. I was like, the lab is scorched. That's it. He's off scot-free. He's home free. I completely forgot about the damn cameras, man, because he was on camera for, like, at least a couple of months or maybe even, close to a year. With meeting Gus and the lab and everything that went down with that. I mean, in terms of time frame, we don't really know, but he was definitely on, film, that's for sure. So I was like, damn, that's brilliant, man, because I didn't even, before the season started, I didn't even think about the damn tapes, man. I totally forgot about those damn cameras and, what could happen with them. So then, of course, they devise a plan. It's funny that it's Jesse's idea, like magnets, And that is funny, too, because I'm actually a professional computer tech. I work on computers, bachelor's of computer science. And that's 100% legit. Magnets will F up everything on a computer. Not just your screen, your hard drive, too. Everything in a computer is magnetic. The hard drive, everything is basically like these platters with tiny little metal pieces that are charged up or down to represent ones and zeros. Anyway, that's complicated. But if you put a magnet on it strong enough, it'll F it all up. The hard drive, everything. So I thought that was pretty brilliant because sometimes, you'll watch a show and if you're an expert at something, you'll see things in the show and you'll be like, oh, that's not true in the real world. But in this case, that's 100% legit. That will actually happen. And if you put a magnet on a screen, it will burn it out too and do all kinds of crazy things like it did on the show too. So that scene was really, really exciting. I thought where they had the truck there, or yeah, I guess it was like a little truck thing. And then they pull everything with the magnet, and everything just goes flying. I thought that was just really well shot and really cool. Everything flies against the wall and all that. And then the van tilts to give you that little excitement. Are they going to get caught? Are they in there? Are they out? This kind of stuff. And of course they get away, which is great. Funny banter between Jesse tripping out and Mike just being there, and he's kind of like, Mike is so like does not belong with Walt and Jesse. Like it's just funny to have the three of them together, and Mike asking like, well, how do we know? And then Walt says, because I say so. That's how you know. I say so. It's my word, And I was just like, man, what a badass. Of course, later on in the episode, we get to see what we've seen in the trailer and the previews before, which is where Saul is trying to tell Walt, or Heisenburg more like it. Not really Walt, it's Heisenburg at this point, that we're done. And then he walks around his desk, walks up to him right in his face, throws his chair out of the way, walks right up to him, and Saul's just like, okay. And then we're done when I say we're done. Bryan Cranston's really got the intimidation thing down, I'm telling you, man. Was it as badass as some of the moments of the past? No. I mean, his most badass moment, I think, is from season 3, I think, where he sees the guys that are, you can look it up on YouTube, just type in Breaking Bad best scene, and he's in like this shopping mart or whatever, and this guy's, buying all kinds of stuff to cook, and Walt sees it, runs into him, and is like, sees what he's doing, mentions it to him that he's buying the wrong thing. The guy leaves, and then, he puts down the paint, walks outside, and then you hear the music play in the background, and he walks up to the two guys next to their RV, and he tells them to stay out of his territory. That's the most badass scene in Breaking Bad, I think. That's the most Heisenburg badass scene in Breaking Bad. But this one was good too. Everything in this one was good too. Let's see, what else did I miss? Skylar saying she's scared of Walt is like, well, whatever. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it is good that she's scared of Walt. And I'm going to sound like such a prick here, but I laughed my ass off when she walked into that hospital. And there was Ted, and he's got like, I don't know why, this is really dark of me to think this is funny, but he's got like the head gear on and everything on, and his head's all shaved, and he's like, he's just like, he looks like something out of a horror movie, and I can't help it. I shouldn't, that's so rude of me, but I laughed my ass off, man. At that scene too, and thinking about last season, if you watch that scene where Ted trips, It is shot so well. It is so funny. He runs, he skips over the carpet, and then he slides head first, boom, right in the cabinets. I think that's probably the funniest scene in Breaking Bad. I honestly do. I laughed so hard at that because you hate the guy, and he's, and this happens to him. It's just, it's so funny. So I hate to laugh at him in this state, but it was funny. I'm sorry. I laughed at it, and he's scared too, saying hasn't said anything, won't say anything, which is good. Everybody's scared of Walt now, except, well, Saul wasn't, but I think now he's going to be, or Heisenburg, I should say. So definitely for a premiere, I thought it was great. Maybe they could have done like a extended, like maybe half an hour or an hour or something for the premiere to kick it off. But hey, I love this episode. I thought it was awesome. Really excited to see new Breaking Bad, and really interesting to see what will happen. Coming up with Mike and what he's going to do, because he's not exactly cool with Heisenberg. He's not cool with. I mean, he likes Jesse. I think he thinks of Jesse as like a son to him. But obviously he's not cool with Heisenberg. So that'll be interesting to see what happens with Mike and them. I can see Mike turning on them, double-crossing them, doing stuff like that too. Probably not Jesse, but maybe try to double-cross Walt, because it just makes sense. So, yeah. Let me see. I think it's funny too, one thing is that now we're actually in a situation where Walt actually is, after everything that's happened from the beginning of Breaking Bad until this point, he's actually really no better off in terms of financial standing than when it all started. I mean, I guess he was able to pay for his treatment and all that stuff, but he's basically broke. I mean, well, he's got the car wash, right? But okay, so he is a little bit better off, but he's not like a millionaire or anything. Like, he's not totally loaded. He actually is close to broke. He actually doesn't have that much money because they gave all this money to Ted, like, almost $1 million, like $600,000, something like that. So then they bought the car wash. So he probably actually does not have almost any money, regardless. And that's kind of funny because now it's like, after he beats Gus, I thought, after he kills Gus, there's no way he's going to want to stay in the game, because it's too dangerous. He probably would realize it's too dangerous and get out. But, it's kind of interesting that now that he's broke again, it gives him even more incentive to get back into the game, which we saw in the preview for next week's episode, is that he's going to probably get back into it. And also, his character development going from Walt to Heisenberg, and how much of his character has become Heisenberg. And, every season it's more and more and more and more and more. Every episode more and more, pretty much, to this point. So, man, I am absolutely stoked to see the rest of Breaking Bad. It kind of sucks they're going to split up Season 5 to do 8 next summer, but hey, what are you going to do? In terms of a season premiere, I love the season premiere. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I just thought it was great. Very, very well-rounded, awesome overall. Is it perfect by any means? Can I give it a 10 out of 10? Well, I mean, it's kind of hard to do, like, for something to really be, like, perfect. It'd have to be, like, the season finale in Breaking Bad, Season 4, that was a 10 out of 10. Season 3 finale, that was a 10 out of 10. But, for a premiere, it was awesome. It was stellar. I love it. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Anyway, let me know what you guys thought about Breaking Bad Season 5, Episode 1, Live Free or Die. This is Trev saying see you until next time, guys. Later. Peace.